Namaste. In a village called Aseni in Barabanki district, which is about 20-30 kilometers from Lucknow and about 8 kilometers from the district headquarters in the Nawabganj Tehsil of Barabanki. The villagers have been protesting against a country liquor shop in the village, which is there right at the entrance. And as you enter the village, the first thing that you encounter is this liquor shop. And villagers have been protesting against it because there are several schools in the vicinity. Although technically they may be outside the distance that is prescribed, but the fact is that there is nothing between the liquor shop and the schools. So the children have to pass through the liquor shop when going to the school and then coming back. And the drunkards, they harass the children, especially the young girls and the women of the villages, especially the men who get drunk and go back to their homes. They end up beating their wives. So women and children are facing the brunt of this liquor shop, and therefore they have been demanding that this liquor shop be closed. In 2021, a meeting of the Gram Sabha was called and the Panchayat passed a resolution asking the government to shut down the shop and move it outside the boundary of the Gram Sabha. The villagers took a petition in which this resolution was attached and gave it to the district magistrate in 21 itself. And since then, every year they have gone to the district magistrate. The current district magistrate is the fourth one since this protest has started, and each one of them has been given multiple petitions on behalf of the villagers. The villagers also met the former Union Minister of his state, Mr. Kaushal Kishore, who lost one of his sons to drugs and himself runs a campaign against drugs. Kaushal Kishore wrote to the district magistrate to look into the matter and see whether this shop can be closed and moved out of the Gram Sabha boundary. But nothing has happened. All pleas are falling on deaf ears. The district administration says that they cannot close it because it is a matter of a state excise policy. And what we say on behalf of the Socialist Party, which is leading this movement, the president of Socialist Party in Barabanki, Amit Maurya, lives in this village. His sister-in-law, Reena Devi, and a young girl who is doing her LLB, Sarojini Devi, are leading the movement on behalf of the women of the village. And they are saying that because the people don't want the liquor shop, therefore this liquor shop should be moved out of the boundary of the Gram Sabha. They staged a protest. There is an Ambedkar statue about 50 meters from the shop, and there was a protest held where people decided to sit-in until the shop was removed from the village. The protest moved to outside the liquor shop. One day it was Janmashtami, and number of officials arrived on the scene, from the excise inspector to the SDM, one by one. And the villagers, especially the women, were asking them whether they themselves drink. And each one of them said that they don't drink. And then the question that the women asked them was that, why are you then promoting this liquor shop? If you don't drink, if you don't want your children to drink, then why do you want our children to consume liquor and squander the valuable resources of the family, which should have been spent on education, food and healthcare of the family, on liquor? So there was no answer from the officials, and the villagers, one of the Nayab Tehsildars who was there on the scene also ordered a lathi charge, and the villagers faced the brunt of the police attack, but they have stood their ground. They have continued to put pressure on the district administration, and finally now they have decided to go to the court. They are approaching the High Court. The petition will be filed very soon, and there are two things which have been highlighted in the petition. One is that there is an Article 47 of the Indian Constitution as part of the Directive Principles, Part 4 of the Constitution, Directive Principles of a State Policy, which says that the state has a duty to raise the level of nutrition and a standard of living and to improve public health. This is the heading of the article, and then the article in description says the state shall regard the raising of the level of nutrition and the standard of living of its people and the improvement of public health as among its primary duties, and in particular the state shall endeavor to bring about prohibition of the consumption except for medicinal purposes of intoxicating drinks and of drugs which are injurious to health. Now, everybody knows that liquor is injurious to health and should not be consumed. And when they say it is a state policy, our answer is that there are states in India like Bihar and Gujarat who have a policy of prohibition. So a state can change its policy, and if we go by the directive principles of the state policy, then every state in India must impose prohibition. The Bharatiya Janata Party, which is ruling today at the union level as well as in the state of Uttar Pradesh, is enamored about the one nation and one everything policy, and we are saying that if the country has to have one policy on liquor, it has to be that of prohibition, because the constitution says so. So we want the government to implement one nation, one liquor policy. There can't be different policies in different states, and therefore prohibition should be implemented. Secondly, more important from the point of view of the people and people's empowerment and democracy is the Article 243G, which talks about the powers, authority and responsibilities of the panchayat. Now this article says that subject to the provisions of this constitution, the legislature of a state may by law endow the panchayats with such powers and authority and may be necessary to enable them to function as institutions of self-government, and such law may contain provisions for the devolution of powers and responsibilities upon panchayats at the appropriate level, subject to such conditions as may be specified therein with respect to A. the preparation or plans for economic development and social justice, B. the implementation of schemes for economic development and social justice as may be entrusted to them, including those in relation to matters listed in the 11th schedule. And if you go to the 11th schedule at the back of the constitution, there are listed at least 29 matters in which the panchayat has been authorized to take decisions. And what we are saying, that panchayat is an elected body. Panchayat has the right to take decisions regarding the matters which are listed in the 11th schedule of the constitution, and it has the right to take decisions about the economic development and social justice, and therefore the panchayat's decision should be supreme. no bureaucracy, whether of the district or the state, has a right to make the panchayat subservient to itself, because the bureaucracy says it is a state excise policy. Now it may be there. The state government may want the liquor shops to run. In fact, they are promoting the liquor shops at the cost of the schools in the panchayats. If you look at the state policy, in November it was announced that all primary schools which have the strength less than 50 will be closed down, although they had to take back this decision in the wake of protests from the teachers union. The state has a policy of merging schools which are functioning in the vicinity of each other if their strength has dropped. Even if it hasn't dropped, primary and middle schools are being merged. So number of schools are going down and number of liquor shops are increasing in Uttar Pradesh. The state government is headed by a monk. He's a religious person. It is supposed to be a Hindutva government, and look at the kind of policy they are promoting. They are closing down schools, reducing the number of schools and increasing the liquor shops. Now what is the effect that this policy is going to have? You will have children who don't have easy access to education because schools are being shut down, and will have easy access to liquor shops because the government, as part of its excise policy, wants liquor shops, country and foreign both, wherever they can be opened. So a Hindutva government in Uttar Pradesh headed by a monk is promoting a policy where liquor is taking precedence over education. So essentially what we are saying is that our youth will be uneducated or semi-literate and will be prone to drinking, will get addicted to drinking, will become a drunkard, and you can imagine what kind of future such a state or country can have. Thank you.